Hello, hi, how are you? Good? No? That's okay. That's okay. So today I will be doing my best books, the 10 best books that I read in 2020. And how I'm going to do this is I'm going to rank from my number 10 into my most favorite book of 2020. So let's get into it, shall we? Let's go. Let's go. Number 10, okay? My number 10 is The Inheritance Games by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. This one is One of Us is Lying meets Knives Out. The first obvious reason that I love this book is because I love Knives Out. And I also love One of Us is Lying. I really have a fun time reading this. Reading this book is like watching a movie. And okay, let me tell you what the book is about if you don't know about it. It's basically the story starts when Tobias Hawthorne, a billionaire guy, he decided to leave his fortune, billions of dollars, to a random high school girl named Avery Grams. And here's the thing, Avery has no freaking idea who the hell he is until his grandson, who she also has no idea who the hell he is, tells her about it. That, hey girl, by the way, you now a billionaire. Hey. And she was like, excuse me? So that's how the story started. I had a fun time reading it. I really enjoyed it. I have to admit, the love triangle kind of annoyed me a little bit, but because I love so many other parts of the books, it didn't really bother me. And you know, sometimes it's kind of cute, the love triangle, but most of the time it's like I just rolled my eye. But that's all I did. I read the book, and when I get to the love triangle part, I just rolled my eyes and moved on. Yeah, I really enjoy reading this. I also really appreciate the fact that the author just put so much work into the games in this book. Like I could tell when I was reading it because they are so interesting and creative. And especially the last game at the end when it's like the reveal of everything. The feeling I get, like, it's not like a shock factor. It's like, oh my god. But it's just like, damn, he did that. Oh my god. And if you love Knives Out, I highly recommend you checking this book out. So the next book, my number 9. Did I say 10 or 9 for the Inheritance Games? I better say 10. I better say 10. If not, I'll fix it. So my number 9 is Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard. Oh my god, this book. Okay, let me just gather myself. And if you don't know what it's about a world that is divided by blood. There are silvers and there are reds. And silvers are the people with like superpower, and red people are basically just bitches like us. Until one day, a girl named Bear. I was saying her last name and her first name at the same time. Like, it was like that until Mare Barrel. Yes, Mare Barrel. So this girl, she's a red blood, but she has a power like silver, and she didn't know about it until she accidentally exposed her power during her time in the Silver Royal Palace. I love this book so much, and I normally don't listen to audiobooks because it kind of hurts my ear when I have to put my headphones on like for hours, and I also get distracted easily, and by the time I got to the end I have no idea what the fuck is going on. But with this book, I was listening to it when I was working, and I almost cried when I was listening to it. The narrator, she doesn't just read the book for us, she acts it out, and her acting skill is on point. I almost cried, I gasped a few times when I was reading it, and the love triangle in this book breaks my heart. But the reason why it's at my number 9 and not like top 5 or top 3 is because it's a series, and I only like this book. And I don't like the rest of the books in the sequel. If this is a standalone book, it would be like my number 3 or like in the top 3 for sure. But because it's a series, my dislike of other books in the series really affect my love for this book, because this book ends with a cliffhanger and I didn't get the closure. Like my heart just breaks. Like, when I was reading this book, my heart physically ached. It hurts. It hurts. And it hurts even more when I didn't get the closure that I needed from other books. But if just this book alone, I love it. I love it with all my heart. It makes me feel so many things, and I love that. I love to feel the pain. And number 8 is Only Mostly Devastated by Sophie Gonzalez. This is a YA contemporary romance, LGBTQ contemporary romance, and it's so cute. I also listened to this on an audiobook, and oh my god, it made me smile. It made me laugh. And there's some part that just really touched my heart that I cry. It's a light-hearted book that made me so happy when I was reading it. If you don't know what it's about, well, let me tell you what it's about. This story is about Ollie and his summer love fling, Will. Their relationship started during summer, but it was cut short because Will lives in another state. You know, he was just there for like a summer camp or something, so he just left, and Ollie was like, oh man, I really like this guy, but he doesn't live around here. But of course, something happened in Ollie's family and he has to move due to family's emergency, and he happens to move to the same state as Will lives, and now he also going to the same school, and Ollie is very happy about it until he finds out that Will is actually still in a closet. And every time he see Ollie, he would act like a jerk. And you know, the funny, handsome Will is gone now, just like a jerk ass Will who just pretend to be a cool guy to hide his truth. And that's how the story started. This book made me smile. It's like a perfect book for 2020 because it was just a chaotic year, and to read this lighthearted book is just perfect. It's like it was a perfect book for me to read this year. It made me so happy. There also a bisexual representation in this book as well, and I love that because bi representation. And number 7 is Instant Karma by Marissa Mayer. This one is another YA contemporary romance with a little bit of magical realism. I have a time reading it. Same with Only Mostly Devastated. I smiled. So this story is about a girl named Prudence who suddenly has a power to cast an instant karma on people after she fall and hit her head right after she sings a song called Instant Karma by John Lennon. And man, I love this book. It warms my heart, and it's the book that I was rooting for the two characters, like Prudence and her lab partner, Quinn Erickson. This is an enemies to lovers book. It's one of my favorite tropes, and oh my god, I was rooting like for this couple so hard. And Marissa Mayer in this book, she just keep teasing us when the character about to kiss, but they don't kiss. Like that happens so many times in the books, and I was just on the edge of my seat when I was reading it. I was like, kiss, 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 kiss. And when they finally kissed, I screamed because I was so happy for them. Like they were my friends, and like my friends finally get together, and I was so happy for them. You know, it's so sweet. I love this book. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. And not only that, there is also a little bit of mystery going on in the book. Just a little bit, not a lot. Just like tiny bit of mystery, which I enjoy. And I also love the life lesson in the book. I have a fun time reading it. I have just a tiny bit problem with this book is the writing style, because I enjoyed it, but because of the way she write the book, it makes the mystery part of the book so obvious, and a lot of parts so obvious as well, because she just kind of spells it out for us, what's gonna happen, that kind of thing. But it didn't bother me. I like it. I have a blast reading this book. It makes me happy, and I recommend it. I highly recommend this book if you want a fun, lighthearted contemporary romance with a magical realism. And if you like Marissa Mayer, you're definitely gonna like this book. She's just so good at writing romance. Read it, read it, read it. And number 6 is Legend Born by Tracy Deonn. This is a pretty hype book. It's a debut novel, and it did not disappoint me at all. If you don't know what it's about, it's an author. I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's about a girl named Bree, and her mom recently died in a car accident. So the way she coped is she is trying to forget everything about her life back home, and now she is focusing on her school, a new school that she just moved to. She's still in high school, but because she is so smart, like she's in a special program where a high school student going to a university. On her first day at the university, she sees a flying demon and a weird hot guy wipe people memories, and that hot guy's name is Salvin, which is my favorite character in the book. I love him so much. He is just a fun character to read. Okay, wipe memory, right? The problem is that he cannot wipe Bree's memory. That's when Bree realized that she saw him before at the hospital where her mom died. And that's when she finds out about a secret society called the Order. And now she suspects that this society has something to do with her mom's death. And now she's trying to find out the truth. My most favorite thing about this book is the pacing. I have never read any book that had just a perfect pacing like this. Perfect. It's not too fast, it's not too slow, it's just perfect. I also love Tracy Deonn's writing style. She doesn't tell, like she show, don't tell. That's how she does it, and I love it. I don't know how to explain it, because sometimes when you read a book, the author just kind of hold your hands and trying to tell you like, okay, this is what happened and this is what happened. But this is more like you're in Bree's head and you just only know what she's thinking. I also love the plot twist at the end of the book. Some people see it coming, but I do not. And I love it. I love the reveal at the end. After the reveal, they also go into the story, the history behind that. I love that. I also really love, there's one scene that really touched my heart. It's about her mom and one of her friends. It's one of my favorite parts in the book. And by the way, the love interest in this book is not Salvin. His name is Nick, but I don't really care about him. I like Sel. So I think I want to mention that. So it's not the love interest, it's Nick. And another thing I love about this book, I like how Tracy Deonn uses her experience with grief after losing her mom and uses that in Bree's life. I think because of that, because she uses her own experience in the book, that's why her grief, Bree's grief, just feels so real, because it's true, like she experienced this before, and I love that. And I love Selvin. I love him. Did I already mention that? No? Yes, I love Sel. And by the way, it's raining so hard right now where I live. Hi, Vancouver. So if you hear like some weird noise, it's the rain. It's raining. Okay, now we're getting to my top 5. And the number 5 is Born Darkly by Tracy Wolff. Oh my god, this book, dude. This book is disturbingly good. You see my tab? I don't really tab my book, but holy shit. I think a lot of people would be worried about me that I put this book in my top 5 because it's so disturbing. It's so like holy shit. I cannot tell you how many times I say holy shit in this book. So just to summarize this book, what is it about in short? It's basically about a psychologist falling in love with her serial killer patient. You see how this goes? The thing that I am really surprised by this book is that when I first picked it up, I thought it was gonna be about an innocent, foolish psychologist falling in love with her hot serial killer patient. But that's not how the story goes. Because the psychologist, she also has her own secret. And Grayson is trying to get the truth out of her. And it's so fun to read. This is a duology. I haven't read the second book yet, but holy shit, this book. I know this book is gonna be something, like it's gonna be really disturbing, but it's even more disturbing than I thought. One of the scenes is, let's just say, she got buried alive by him. So, if you love a dark romance, read this one. You will have a fun time reading it. Just saying. Number 4 is With Malice by Ellen Cook. This one is a YA thriller, and it's about a girl named Jill who just woke up from a coma and she has no idea what's going on in the past 6 weeks of her life. She was in a car accident while she was on a school trip in Italy, and which is a trip that she also doesn't remember. And in a car accident, she survived. But her best friend was also in a car with her, and her friend died. And here's the thing, people don't believe that it was an accident. They think that Jill might kill her best friend on purpose. I read this a while ago, but the thing that I remember, like the first thing that comes up to me when I try to think like why I like this book is the ending. It's exactly how I want it to end. And in the book, how Aileen Cook writes, it keeps you doubting if your guess is right, because I keep going back and forth between, oh, she definitely did it, and then I would read the next 20 pages and then I started to think, maybe she did not. Did she? Maybe, but like, did she not? I don't know. It was really fun to read. I have a fun time reading it. I have a fun time guessing. I love it when a mystery book does me like that, when I just am not sure if my guess is right, because it could go both ways. And the ending is like fucking perfect. Oh, and fun fact, Ellen Cook was my writing coach 2 years ago. Yeah, that's it. That's all I want to say. And now, no. We're at top 3. And number 3 is EV4 Villains by ML Rhino. Reno. This book makes me feel so many things. It's one of those books, when I finished reading it, I just sat there and I didn't know what to do. I just sat and stared at a wall and just like like that. Okay, if you never hear about this book, it is about a guy named Oliver, and he just got out of jail after spending 10 years in jail for a murder of his classmate. It's funny how I talk about murder and then siren just goes off. Okay, so yes, he got out of jail, right? Now he is ready to tell the truth about what actually happened on the night of the murder. What? This book, let me tell ya, was the plot predictable? Yes. But did I love it anyway? Hell yes. Because what I love about this book is not the murder itself, it's not the mystery, but it's the relationship between the friends. So this book is about a group of friends who in the same musical theater program, like Shakespeare's and shit, and I don't know shit about Shakespeare's. And some part confused me, but I didn't care, because that's not what I'm here for. What I'm here for is the friendships between these friends, and that's what gets me, and that's what breaks my heart. Because there's one specific relationship of friendship between these friends that I really love, because it's also have bisexual or pansexual representation. It didn't really say that in the book, like which one, But there's that. These two friends, they just have a really complicated feeling about each other. Like, it's so obvious how they feel about each other to the reader, but to them, they're not sure how they feel. Are they just really close friends, or is there something more? We didn't know that until like almost the end of the book. Oh my god, I get emotional just thinking about it. I love Oliver. Like, I don't know how to say it without spoiling. From time to time, I would think about this book and just think like, damn, wow, holy shit. Yeah, I love it. Okay, so now we're getting close. I had a hard time picking my number 1 and 2 because they were just so close. One of them I gave it a 4.5 stars, and one of them I gave it a 5 star. It should be obvious, but still, because I love both of them so much. And by the way, the reason why I don't tell how many stars I gave each book is that this list, the stars don't matter. I just go with my intuition, man. I just listen to my heart and I go with it. Because, for example, number 6, I gave that book a 5 star, but at number 5, I give the book a 4.5 star. It makes no sense, but it makes sense to me, okay? The top 2 is hard, but I have made my decision. And number 2 is The Savior Champions by Jenna Morassi. If you watch my videos, like my early videos, you will know that I could not stop talking about this book. I fucking love it. I fucking love this book. I gave it a 5 star. And this book, just to cut it in short, is very, very similar to The Hunger Games. Even though the author doesn't like when people compare her book to The Hunger Games, but for people who don't really know what this book is about, it's like an adult dark fantasy about 20 guys fighting to death to marry the savior, the queen of the land, the magic queen of the land. And the main character is Tobias. And Tobias is one of the competitor, but he did not enter the tournament or the competition because he wants to marry the savior. He basically just entered it just to get the money, because every competitor will get some kind of money just to pay for the death, I guess. Like when they die, the money will take care of their family, something like that. And his family needs the money, like he needs it. And the premise might seem really simple, but the book is not. How do I tell you how much I love this book? Okay, well, I have a note, so let me look at it. Okay, first of all, this book, the pacing. I love the pacing so much because I personally hate slow burn books. I am impatient and I need a book to start right away. And this book starts right away. The competition, you are here to see men fight to death. You get it. You get it within like 3rd chapter. Like in chapter 3, you enter the competition. Jenna is not wasting our time. You want the competition, you get the competition. I also love the character development of Tobias. You can tell that he changes so much throughout the books because of the competition. It does something to him and he just changes from just an artist, a labor boy, to his character arc just becomes darker. And I love that. There's also a really cute romance in this book. But I'm gonna tell you, this book is not for everyone. And I recommend checking the content warning before getting into the book. There are a lot of cussing. There are a lot of dick jokes. There are a lot of blood because, you know, people fighting to death. Just a lot of that. If you don't like people cussing, if you don't like people talking about dicks or cunts, don't read it. You're gonna hate it because you see it everywhere in the book. But I love it. I love dick jokes. And this book is really thick. Well, for some of you, it's like, nah, it's not thick. The book is already big. And it's around like 538 pages. And usually it would take me a week or 2 to finish. But I finished this book within 2 days. I couldn't put it down. I fucking love this book. Okay, the time has come. And now we're at number 1. My number 1 best book. My most favorite book of 2020. Here we go. Where Dreams Descend by Janella Angeles. First of all, look at the cover. pretty, so pretty. I give this book a 4.5 star, but it's at my number one because this is like a personal test, just like my personal thing. My most favorite fantasy world or like fantasy trope, I don't know if it's called trope, but I love fantasy that has something to do with a circus or carnival, performance, like performing art, showgirl, dance, like that's my thing. Like I eat that shit for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That's why it's my number one. That's the first reason. It's my personal test of book. I just love this type of book. And the only reason why it's not a 5-star because the first 10 chapter of the book was really slow and I almost DNF'd it. And I'm so happy I didn't do that because obviously it's my number one favorite book of the year. Fuck. When I got past the first 10 chapter, I couldn't put it down. I love Kalia, the main character. I love her so much. I love her attitude. I love her character arc. I also love the romance in this book, the mystery element of this book, because there's something going on in this world because magicians start going missing and Kalia could be next. It's just really hard to explain why I love this book. I guess when I read it, like when I got past the 10th chapter, I just got lost into the story. It's like watching a movie, a TV show. I love it when I read a book, but it doesn't feel like reading. And I love the world. I also like, when I read it, I could sense the sense of magic. Her love interest also has a secret. Himself was once the best magician in the world until something happens with his sister. I cannot wait for the second book. The second book is coming out in August. I'm so fucking excited to see what's gonna happen next because the ending, man, what the fuck? What the fuck? Hi, so I currently editing this book and I just want to add that another thing that I really like about this book is the friendship between Kalia and her assistant Eros. I just like how the author write about the friendship between a guy and a girl. It doesn't normalize that often because usually when there's a friendship between a guy and a girl, eventually turn into a romantic relationship. But this one is just truly a sweet friendship between the two, and I don't really see that often in a book, so I really appreciate it and I eat it up. I love it. Yeah. Oh my god. Okay, so those are the 10 best books that I read in 2020. If you get here this far, leave a dance girl with the red dress here. This is the emoji. Leave that emoji down below so I know that you get here this far, and thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what is your best book, the best book that you read in 2020. Let me know down in the comment. And if you enjoyed this video, you can like, subscribe, or don't. You do you, my friend, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!